So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Moon in the 12th house as your Atmakaraka. As in what happens when Moon, which has the highest degree in your particular chart. Okay. Battery low. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Moon as the Atmakaraka in your 12th house. As in what happens when Moon, which controls the highest degree in your particular chart, sits in the 12th house. And remember, we do not include Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Is the main 7 bodies. And if you want to see which is the planet of the Atmakaraka in your chart, you can go to this link here, astrology.com, under shop section, option 6, where you'll get the report, which will show you the particular degree of your moon and in how many karakas you have, and how with that moon is your Atmakaraka. It'll say AK in the Gemini section. And one thing I'll tell you, people sent me like screenshots of some apps, and you don't realize this is why I only use Astrology. And no, they're not sponsoring. They don't pay me. Okay. But the thing is, it's such a accurate software, because many people who sent me their birth details with Atmakaraka, this and that, I see a lot of miscalculations, and there's no internal calculation of DST time, daylight savings time. So you want to be very careful when you're looking at your birth details on just apps. They will not give accurate information. I've seen it. I've tried it multiple times. I've yet to see an app that will give me the accurate results versus a software. So anyway, Moon as the Atmakaraka in the 12th house. So the Atmakaraka represents what the soul must experience in this life, what the soul has to accomplish in this life as part of its mission. Okay, as part of its mission. And the thing is, within the 12th house, especially, you will see, if there's no planets around the moon, and moon as the Atmakaraka is in the 12th, most of the karmas have been finished. There's no obligation you have with too many people, even your spouse and children. There's no desired focus that, oh my God, this has to happen in my life. Or especially because through the moon, we are able to connect our relationships, whether it's relatives, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, friends, anybody. Most of the karmas have been paid off. So such a person, and even if you have planets around the moon, the Atmakaraka moon will show that the person retracts back into dealing with those particular things. But what happens is, when the planets around the moon as the Atmakaraka, they push you. It becomes more irritating in the 12th house. Like, for example, if Mars on one side and let's say Venus is on the other side, then you're going to see that people, especially like friends, brothers, okay, spouse, women in general, that you won't have a desire to interact or pay obligation to them, will come to you for an obligation. But moon in the 12th clearly shows the soul is desiring to exit. Its mission is to exit. Now, what the thing that I have seen with Atmakaraka moon, okay, not as the Amatyakaraka, not as the Dharakaraka. I'm sure if I was to look at a million charts, I probably will find that. But Atmakaraka moon, there's such need for escapism. There's such need for escapism for the soul that soul is even willing to try things to escape, which could be drugs and alcohol, prescription medication. Because when a person does not know the proper way of going towards the exit door, which is through meditation, through certain forms of spiritual practices. So the person, when they don't have this information, they grew up in a culture that doesn't know much about this thing, they know these things as fluff, that's when a person uses these particular material things to find that escape. Because it becomes very burdensome upon this Atmakaraka. Now, at the same time, this particular moon is extremely motivated with money and food. And what I mean by motivated by food is that whenever you feel toxicity in your mind, whenever you feel that clogginess because of the pressure of the entire 11 houses, even if you're not a cook, you never cooked, you don't like cooking, you must try this. Go outside of the home, whether it's your backyard, maybe your balcony, get a portable, one of those butane can cooking gas, and make your favorite food on it. Either that or whenever, time to time, especially during the sunset time or even at lunch, when you go out and eat and you sit somewhere, even just by yourself, you eat. Not only it kind of balances that mind out, but it also gives you ideas. Ideas flow. Creativity flows. And through that creativity, one is able to sustain themselves. And you will see actually, many moon in the 12th, people make excellent bankers. Bankers, financier, economists, people who are just very much motivated by money and investments. It's not like just because moon is in the 12th, oh, you're spiritual, your prediction is going to go wrong. You have to see, how this planet is placed, because actually this person can be very much into like being a Wall Street professional. Because only when people who like astrology and deep into it, they will resonate with it. Right? They'll easily find resonance with any kind of a placement. But it's even tougher when you go to a stranger, you look at the chart and you say, you want money, you want to be in the financial world, you want to get all the material things in life. Okay, because this is literally the house of Lakshmi. This is the house of Lakshmi. And this is also the house of Shiva. And one thing you will see, because of the blessings of especially Parvati and Shiva, this 12th house. Anybody who comes after such a moon in the 12th house, anybody who becomes a competitor, anybody who becomes somebody who tries to put this person down, ends up losing the battle. Something dramatic happens in their life. Something just suddenly gets stuck. And this is why our ancestors have said, do not, wish ill will on someone else. Don't harm someone else. Not because morally it's a great thing to do, but they knew. Do you know? They knew that you don't know what chart they have. That if you go after them, you will get something in return. Because, and this is especially due to the fact 7th from moon is the 6th house. Due to the fact 7th from the moon is the 6th house, this is why no matter what enemy comes after them, they themselves end up being in a problem and trouble in their life. And also this particular moon in the 12th. At one point, we'll also get into spiritual poetry. Will love poetry, or will be especially attracted to music, classical dance. And why the dance? Have you thought about that? Because it's the Atmakaraka. Soul has a mission. Because in Pisces is where Shiva did the Tandav. That's where he did the Tandav to replace and replenish the universe. So even if a person is not in dancing, they can actually become excellent dancers. Naturally, it comes to them. And you will also see, especially somebody in your in-laws would have ran away from the home, would have been forced out of the home. Okay. And especially the relationship of your mother and her mother, meaning your mother and maternal grandmother would not have had a good relationship. She did not pay attention to your mother, or mother just never liked her. There would be some dynamic playing out in that particular area. And specifically, as the Atmakaraka moon, one will not have any interest in being a householder, whether it's being a husband or being a wife. Unless your spouse lets you be who you are 80 to 90% of the time. Then it works. Because usually these people, let's say for example, even if this person is a researcher, inventor in Wall Street, they'll be wanting to just consume themselves in those things 90% of the time out of the day. Where a spouse will feel thirsty, spouse will feel, what's the word I can use here? Dehydrated from lack of nourishment from you as the responsible partner. So you want to be very careful of who you are with, who you want to marry, because this is how your life is going to be. Your mission here becomes focus. See, now Wall Street people and all of those things, they may not have Atmakaraka moon, but moon in the 12th is what I'm also saying. But when it's the Atmakaraka, I don't care if you're the most atheistic, logical lawyer out there. If you don't follow that 12th house, your everything else just becomes very chaotic and destructive. Why, you think lawyers don't get a divorce or lose money, deal with health issues? Of course they do. So if you're listening, you better start you need to get on those spiritual practices, because even lawyers, I've actually done readings of lawyers who are addicted to certain type of drugs and wanting to find remedies. From IT professionals to doctors to lawyers. And you see those patterns. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of moon in the 12th house. And remember, if you need any book supports consultation, check out the links here. And especially remember my number 1 and number 2 course, Wristwatch and Wealth and Nadi course, are especially now the most number 1 subscribed course, and helping out so many people. So yeah, I'll be able to get you guys, hopefully, the Saturn movie sometime next year. Okay? Thank you.